Today on The Report, the latest on the Russian-Ukrainian war and what major steps the White House is taking.
Plus, big news coming to campus on COVID mask mandates.
And devastating news from a Chinese airliner's crash. All this and much more. The Report starts now.
Hello, I'm Marisa Flores.
I'm Jessica Gonzales.
And I'm Amanda Mendoza. Follow us on Twitter at The Report CSUF or on our Titan TV Instagram at Titan TV CSUF to keep in touch with us and view our new content. The White House just announced today they will begin a move to accept 100,000 Ukrainian refugees into the country, and they will also provide over $1 billion in new humanitarian aid. After a month of combat, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has reduced how many people still remain living in the country. As of now, 3.5 million civilians have fled their homeland in the wake of the devastation. It was also declared yesterday by the U.S. government that certain members of the armed forces in Russia have committed war crimes by bombarding unnecessary targets. The accused war crimes, although apparent to the Ukrainian people and those witnessing the tragedies, were ultimately denied by government officials. Additionally, Russia has denied any action or purposeful action to target these civilian areas, such as the maternity and hospital treatment centers. So first of all, I want to point out to you guys, there was a population of approximately 3 million in Kyiv. Now, the population has been cut in half since the war has begun and since civilians fled the countries. Also, Eastern European countries have reportedly found the new influx of immigrants very overwhelming. And so in regards to immigration here, usually their process for accepting refugees include a vetting process along with a referral from a UN agency, which can be a very complex process. So I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? How can we help them? And do you think immigration is a great way to go for them coming over here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we could all agree that having them come here would probably be the best option. We can see the damage Russia is causing right now in Ukraine. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't think it would be a very complicated process. I think even right now, under these extreme circumstances, it could at best take months, because like you said, it is a lengthy process. But these families don't have months. They still have family members back in Ukraine. And I even did some more reading, and there was this one refugee who's been in the U.S. since 2016 when Russia first invaded Crimea. He said he's hardly been receiving any help from our government to help him bring his family here from Ukraine. His family has even gone through multiple approval processes, but said it's slowed down ever since the war started. So, and this is back in 2016. He's been here for, now 6 years? And he still has his family over there. So I appreciate our government opening their arms. It's great to see. But it's one thing to say it than to actually do it. Actions speak louder than words. So I would actually like to see people coming over rather than just our government announcing that they're welcome.
Right, I agree, especially when you say actions speak louder than words. I agree, too, that it's great that we're opening our arms. It seems like we are. We have to remember, 3.7 million refugees have fled Ukraine already, and then 6.48 million people are misplaced. That's a lot of people just for us to say only 100,000 are welcomed. I understand that we're far away from this area. It may not be the most convenient, but what if areas like Poland and Germany and surrounding neighborhoods or surrounding countries are not safe anymore? Are we going to up this number, or are we going to keep it at the 100,000? That's just my question. It's just a weird number, it seems like.
Exactly. The number is incredibly small, all things considered. And also I want to point out that Biden didn't really mention a specific time frame. No one really talked about a specific time frame in which he'll accept these 100,000 people. So that could pretty much mean from now to the next 10 years. So I thought it's kind of weird how the U.S. seems a little bit hesitant to actually have Ukrainians come here to the United States, but those are my thoughts.
I agree. And in other local news or global news, the Boeing 737-800 jetliner from a Chinese Eastern airline was carrying 123 passengers and 9 crew members when it crashed suddenly into the southern China's mountains. It was confirmed that there were no survivors of this crash. China's Civil Aviation Administration confirmed that the plane had, quote, actively activated emergency procedures, including a line for emergency assistance for family members, end quote. As families gathered awaiting the news, rescue teams were met with bad weather, limiting their equipment and resorting to flashlights in the dark in order to continue their search. Reports say just before the plane went plummeting, it lost contact with emergency services. And because of the impact, the plane exploded and caused almost 10 acres of wildfire. Near the scene of the crash, a bystander who remained anonymous recorded the incident and helped in the search for any survivors at the time. Tragically, the plane, quote, plunged more than 25,000 feet under 2 minutes, end quote. The immediate cause of the crash is still under investigation.
On the topic of aviation crashes, 6 people were rushed to a hospital after a Los Angeles County Sheriff Department helicopter crashed Saturday evening. The crew, consisting of 5 sheriff's deputies and a doctor, were on their way to airlift a victim from a car accident when the pilot abruptly made a rough landing and crashed. Only one of the passengers was critically injured after the aircraft rolled in the Los Angeles National Forest, according to Sheriff Alex Villanueva. The incident is still under investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board. So clearly this is a dangerous situation. We're lucky to see that no casualties were reported. It definitely could have been a lot worse than it was. It definitely seems like lately, though, in the news, we've been hearing a lot more about airline crashes or aviation crashes. I don't know if you guys heard, but in 2019, CBS actually conducted an investigative story on airline mechanics who said they feel pressured to look away from dangerous situations that they see when putting these aircrafts out there. So in some cases, the Federal Aviation Administration even agreed with those mechanics. So the U.S. definitely seems unparalleled with aviation safety practices lately. So it's so sad to see how this crash in China turned out, how this Los Angeles Sheriff's Department helicopter crash panned out. I just feel like it could all be avoided. So my question for you ladies is, what are some ways you think we could improve airline safety?
Well, I definitely think, obviously, prayers out to everyone that, this was affected by, but we obviously need more emphasis on safety procedures. Maybe a few more tests before the planes are actually cleared to take off would be such a simple thing to stop these tragic accidents happening. I think it just comes down to that, just focusing more on safety.
Exactly, just testing things out beforehand, ensuring that everyone feels safe and secure, and maybe asking them how do they feel at this moment. I just think we need to emphasize, like we said, safety, ensuring that everyone feels comfortable. Okay, Titans, are you aware of the recent COVID-19 guidelines that will go into effect after spring break? Well, Cal State Fullerton just announced that all students and faculty will be given the option to wear a face covering indoors as of April 1st, regardless of vaccination status. The university will also end their weekly surveillance testing offered to students and employees unless they work at the health center or university police department. The school will still offer testing sites to those exposed or who present symptoms of the virus. Throughout the remaining of the semester, of course, this comes after LA and Orange County COVID-19 cases drop and more Angelenos choose to get vaccinated and boosted. Cal State Fullerton makes it clear that there will be consequences to those who discriminate against those who opt to wear or not to wear a mask, stating, quote, any faculty, staff, student, or volunteer who discriminates, harasses, or retaliates against a member of the university community for wearing or not wearing a mask covering is in violation of university policy and is subject to disciplinary action under university policies and/or applicable collective bargaining agreements, end quote. Cal State Fullerton will continue to follow the CDC's guidelines to keep the campus safe. Will you be keeping your mask on? Personally, I would prefer to keep my mask on just so we can ensure that everyone feels safe and comfortable. And honestly, I understand why some people wouldn't, especially with COVID cases dropping in California and in Orange County. But I think people forget that there are also people who are disabled who might take to COVID-19 very seriously, where they could possibly be at threat of death even. So that's how I feel personally, but I just want to know, what do you think, ladies?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been about 7 months since I've been able to see my classmates' faces. So when this announcement first came out, I was definitely a little more excited. I'm fully boosted, and I know now since the campus is mandated that everyone be fully boosted to be on campus, besides some exemptions, it makes me feel a little bit safer now that they announced this. And I don't know, it makes me happy that I get to actually see my teachers teaching, you know what I mean, and actually see them face to face and actually get that learning experience back. So Personally, I don't think I'll be wearing a mask indoors, but I definitely like that the university pointed out it's not going to tolerate any discriminatory actions, because I definitely wouldn't mind if a classmate next to me wore their mask just for their own safety. It doesn't affect me personally.
Right. I think I like the beauty of this thing where you do have that option to wear the mask and to not wear the mask. It doesn't depend, or it doesn't matter what your decision is. And I like that the school is implementing this idea, saying there's no discrimination allowed. Not that I think that anyone here on campus would do that, but I think it's great that that's being said. And I trust the school. I trust that COVID cases are going down, and I trust that they have the best interest in our safety and our health. And I do trust that students are going to stay home when they feel sick. I think we've all learned that lesson over the past 2-3 years now.
Definitely.
So I also want to ask you guys, do you think that the benefits outweigh the risk of being able to see your classmates and teachers' faces, or do you see COVID-19 as an inevitability?
Well, like I said, and like Jess pointed out also, I trust the school. I trust our county. I believe that since students on campus are fully boosted, it's definitely a little bit more of a safe feeling when you're here on campus. I guess when you're not wearing your mask, I definitely would feel more hesitant if I knew that not so many people on campus were fully boosted. And I think if I had more large lectures with large amounts of people, I definitely would be more cautious as well. But I do think at this point, COVID is probably going to be inevitable. I mean, we still see news about them possibly adding more boosters or more shots that need to be added to be considered fully vaccinated. So I don't know. It just seems like the updates keep coming out. So if the numbers are low enough to where we can take off the mask, then I think I just might.
Yeah. I agree with you, Marissa. I think that we should trust the school and trust the county and trust the numbers that it's going down. However, I do think it is going to be an inevitable thing. We're going to be seeing more boosters coming out. They already recommended a 4th dose of a vaccine, so I just think it's inevitable.
I'm sure that's exciting news for some. Now, Jessica, what other local news do you have for us?
So let's see what you guys think about this local story. With the devastation coming out of Ukraine and people wanting to help in any way they can, some have donated money, food, and supplies, and others have answered the call of duty themselves. Orange County surgeon and Army veteran Captain Donald Bittner is doing just that. Bittner is an orthopedic hand surgeon at Providence St. Jude Medical Center in Fullerton, and he was asked to train Ukrainian doctors by the American Association of Hand Surgery a couple weeks ago. Bittner encountered similar events to Ukraine when he served in the Navy as an orthopedic trauma surgeon in Afghanistan back in 2010. It was there that Bittner operated on children, members of the Taliban, and hundreds of injured soldiers. Bittner told ABC7 that many doctors are treating patients in basements since hospitals are crowded with injured Russian soldiers. Bittner says, quote, "We were all one large community all over the world. That's what binds us all together. We are all physicians. We all took the same oath," end quote. What a great act from a fellow veteran and surgeons coming from Orange County, especially hearing this story, this heartwarming story outside of such a devastating time. And to think that these Zoom calls that this doctor is doing and having with these Ukrainian doctors is impacting so many people, probably saving so many lives, and probably helping a lot of these doctors who are under so much stress right now. What do you guys think about that?
I think what Bittner is doing is absolutely fantastic and so charitable. And I really hope that other doctors see what he's doing and decide to emulate that and give back however they can. I think people forget, you don't always have to give back in terms of physical objects, but you can also give back by sharing your knowledge when necessary. And so what he's doing is essentially helping the war.
Yeah.
I think what he's doing is absolutely spectacular.
Definitely, I agree. I think it's great to see that they're actually utilizing their knowledge, and I hope this will inspire other doctors and surgeons to see that even though this war is happening overseas and it seems extreme, and it is, that they can still play a positive part in it, and they can still, put what they know to use and actually help these people going through these hard times. That's so great to hear that our local heroes are making an impact on this war. Well, with the effects of the war being felt right here at home, we haven't stopped talking about gas prices, and that's because they don't seem to stop rising. This time, we have some good news. 2 states have moved to temporarily suspend taxes imposed on gasoline. Georgia and Maryland are relieving drivers of an extra 29 cents in Georgia and 36 cents in Maryland per gallon. In California, the motion to suspend the gas tax was denied, but state lawmakers keep pushing. They are now proposing a gas tax rebate that would give taxpayers, both drivers and non-drivers, $400 in an effort to relieve the economic strain high prices are having on the wallets of Californians. Lawmakers say the money is equal to the total amount paid in gas taxes within a year for most. The current gas tax in California stands at 51 cents, while the state's gas prices are averaging at $5.86, the highest in the nation. Wow, so it seems like we keep talking about these rising gas prices going on, and a $400 rebate check. I mean, wow. I don't know, seeing as we're the state with the highest gas rate or gas tax rate at 51 cents, I definitely think a tax cut would be way more beneficial, but that's just my own opinion, because I only see that check lasting so long, especially for Californians, especially in Southern California. I feel like I see people driving all over on the 91, a bunch of freeways, so I don't know how they came to this conclusion that a $400 check is equal to the amount that we pay in a year for gas taxes, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think a $400 check would suffice?
I feel like it makes a lot more sense with the tax cut because, like, hear me out. So with $400, I understand what they're going for, but at the same time, that's very hard to budget. And like you mentioned, $400 is not really anything in California. Like, it's very easy to spend it on anything, really. So I think it's just more effective in terms of helping people budget and be able to, like, understand how much it is if we just do a tax cut on the gas.
Right. I mean, we're a commuter state. Everyone drives everywhere. Me personally, I drive from Riverside County to come here from Fullerton. I drive to work every day. It's a lot. $400, like if someone were to ask me or ask any of the students here at this commuter school that Cal State Fullerton is, of course we would take the $400. It would definitely help, but would it be enough? Would it last longer than, a few months? Probably not, especially because gas prices probably won't be stopping their rise anytime soon. Regardless, this week coming up is spring break. I won't have to spend any money on gas anymore. I'm going out to Colorado to visit my nephew for the first time. So I'm so excited to get that break. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I leave for Hawaii tomorrow morning, so...
Hawaii!
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I still haven't started packing at all, and my flight's early, so it'll be a late night for me, but I'm still excited.
Well, while you ladies are going to Colorado or Hawaii, I'm just going to be staying in this entire break, not doing any homework, just breathing and having a Disney movie marathon.
Nice.
I think that'll just make me happy. And with that, that's all the time we have today on the Report Roundtable discussion. Have a restful spring break, everyone, and stay tuned for more news, views, and info. I'm Amanda Mendoza.
I'm Marisa Flores.
And I'm Jessica Gonzales. As always, Titans, keep your tusks up and your heads held high. Until next time.